And that mark is supposed to be 1/4 of an inch down from the line that we just cut. So I come over here and I measure 1/4 of an inch and make a mark. So that's 1/4 of an inch from here to here. Then it says, align pieces to the mark and glue, and then measure and draw a new center line. And we'll do that with 1/8 of an inch. But our next step is to glue it. So what I'm going to do is run a little tiny bit of glue right there along that edge. Maybe just to be sure, a little bit on the back side. And then I'm going to overlap to that point and glue until it lines right up with that point, right there. I got some extra glue there, so I probably want to wipe that off. Whew, glue on table. Okay, give that 2 seconds to dry. And it says measure and draw a new center line. To do that, I need to come 1/8 of an inch back from, see, we did 1/4 of an inch down, so we're going to come back 1/8 of an inch, just 1/8 from the very bottom. 1/8 is to right there, and that's going to be the bottom of our new center line. And I'm going to draw that center line all the way up to the very tip right there. That center line will be used for aligning the wing on the plane when we glue it to the fuselage. So make sure you get a good center line there. Alright, so there's our new center line. And that concludes step 11. Step 12 is going to be to taper the wings. So it says to finish tapered wings, measure, draw, and cut the wingtips and trailing edges along the heavy lines as indicated. Now as you look at this slide of the PowerPoint, notice that the first one that you should probably do is that one on the top that says 3 5/8 inches, and then the one on the side that says 1/2 inch. Of all times. So we're going to come over from the center point of the leading edge of the wing, 3 5/8 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4/8 is 1/2, and 5/8 is to right there. And then on the other side, we're going to go 3 5/8 also. That would be to right there. Then we draw a line from that point to the very corner of the wing right here. And we do the same on the other side. All right. Now it says come up 1/2 inch from that corner piece right there. So let's go up 1/2 inch to right here. And let's come up 1/2 inch right here. And then we draw a line from this point right here in the center over to that line. Put my pencil there and put the ruler up against it. And I only have to line up one of these things. Ooh. We'll do the same thing over here. Put the pencil there. Now what we got to do is cut out those lines that we've made. So we'll begin on this side. Cut the wing straight. Would be the best way to do this. rest of this is scrap, can be thrown away. Alright, what do you notice about the tapered wing? Well, these two lines on the outside should be parallel to the new center line that you've drawn here. And they should be about the same angle as they here in the corners and the corners. So it should be fairly symmetrical. That's a good looking main wing for the Merganser. Let's go on to step number 13. Step number 13 asks us to draw the ailerons. And it says make the ailerons. I'll show you how to make those. The dimensions given for the ailerons on this step are a 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure the 1/4 inch over here. There's a 1/4 inch, so we make our mark. And it's going to be a 1/2 inch wide. 1/2 inch wide is right to here. So oops, I drew it a little bit wrong. But I can get around that. And then let's do the same thing here. 1/4 inch on this side. Right to there. And 1/2 inch in. Right to there. Now, since these are supposed to be parallel to this edge and to the side, you don't need to make an extra mark. You just need to hold your ruler there so it's parallel to this edge. And eyeballing it is probably good enough. And you make that line there. All the way over to your 1/2 inch mark. Line up your ruler edge with the side of the paper. Make it parallel. And draw a line there. Okay, that's the aileron now. That extra line that I drew there should be erased. It's the official eraser. Okay, same on this side. Now on the planes you've seen that I've made in class, I haven't had these cut. But on your planes you need to cut them because the purpose of these little ailerons is to adjust the trim of the aircraft when you fly it. If it keeps flying the same direction, you can adjust these little corner pieces and they help the plane fly straight and level. So there's that, and then the last thing you do for the ailerons is just make one cut on each one, which is this line right here. Cut that one right there, and cut this one right here, just the same way you'd see on a big aircraft. So that these can be folded up and folded down. Then if the plane flies to the left, you would raise this one a little bit and leave it like that. If it flies to the right, then you might go the other way. Raise this one and lower that one. Alright, that's the completed wing. Let's go on to step 14, which is where we're going to make the horizontal stabilizer out of piece E. Piece E is the next largest width piece. And the first step is to cut to the dimensions indicated. It's supposed to be 3 3/4 inches wide. So I measure 3 3/4 inches here. There's 3, and there's 1, 2, 3/4, so to right there. Draw a line parallel to the outer edge there. And that's going to be where I cut. Scrap. Alright, then it says valley fold in half vertically. So valley fold in half vertically. So you line up the two edges and just crease it at the bottom. Unfold. On each side, measure from center crease as shown and mountain fold. So they're saying measure over a 1/2 inch. So from this point here, which is the center of the crease, I'm going to come over a 1/2 inch, make a mark. I'm going to go a 1/2 inch on the other side and make a mark. Now I need to mountain fold those creases. So I'm going to fold right on that little point, make sure the edge lines up here, like that.